Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Rupanata and I make videos about mental health and a lot of other stuff. I myself have schizoaffective disorder, and so I make videos about it to raise awareness and all of that. So I made a new friend and her name is Victoria. Even she has a YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel links will be in the description below. So we talked together and we had a conversation about schizophrenia and mental health and all of that to basically show that mental illness doesn't discriminate anybody. Everyone from any background or cultural, whatever the background is, they can go through mental illness, and we need to talk about it and destigmatize mental illness basically. So we had a full on conversation. It was really my pleasure to talk to her, and I recorded it for you guys. So why don't the next clip will be us having a discussion about mental health. So enjoy and let me know in the comment section below what do you think about it. Thank you. Let's go on with the video. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. What's your diagnosis?
Schizoaffective disorder, depressive type.
Okay. So my diagnosis is schizoaffective disorder, depressive type, and I also have OCD with that. So that is right now. Okay. So when were you diagnosed?
Age 17. And I mean, if we're mentioning other diagnoses, I've also been diagnosed with a major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
And now they're saying that I might also have ADD.
oh yeah, I saw that video. Yeah, you might have ADD. So I was diagnosed when I was 16. And first I was just diagnosed with depression and anxiety because they didn't know. I didn't really, because I felt that it was normal to hear voices. Like, I thought that everyone could do that, but then after I started speaking about it, I like the doctors picked up that it's not, everyone can't hear. And I remember my friends used to tell me that, Rupanata, why do you talk to, like, my friends thought that I was just a weird person, and that I used to like sometimes talk with myself, and my friends were like, okay, no, again Rupanata's talking to herself. So I was like, no, I am not. Like, I felt that I was talking to the voices, but then from outside they saw that I was talking to myself. So that happened. So okay, so when did your symptoms started showing up, like, slowly?
I first noticed them when I was 15, but you know what olfactory hallucinations are?
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
started out as those. So like I'd go to, I remember the first one I actually remember was I went to a movie and I saw a scene with roses, and I began to actually be able to smell the roses, and I'm like, that's weird, but I brushed it off
Yeah.
because I thought, you know what, it's weird, but it's not like that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then
exactly.
I started hearing voices, but I thought that it was normal too because my voices were only at night.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, it's just a trance state, and I'm in a kind of a funky state at night,
Yeah.
um but then I went to the doctor, and then uh, I started hearing voices in the day too, and he's like, "No, this isn't normal."
Yeah, exact same with me. Like, I think I used to hear voices when I was a little child also, but I have, like, throughout my life I have, like, I always felt left out, even from my family or my friends, everyone, because I was just very, like, I didn't feel that like in person, like in family thing, because I felt like I was always like this outsider. I still do that. I still feel that I'm an outsider because I was like very weird. And I remember my first symptom was a visual hallucination. I used to like just get up, like at night while sleeping. I used to just get up from my bed and I used to see there were snakes in my bed. And we brushed it off as like I was just dreaming or something. But I used to like literally physically wake up and moved to a corner because there were snakes. And I now also I feel like something is crawling in my, like crawling inside my body, or in my, like it's just crawling on my body. So I don't get that much of olfactory, but I get a lot of tactile and auditory and visual hallucinations for me.
Oh yeah, me too, definitely. I'd say
Okay.
my most common are the visual ones.
Yeah. Yeah, like visual ones, like you see shadows, like shadows jumping out, or it, like I see that, like when previously, like now I am much better, but like 2 years from now, like before that, I couldn't go to sleep. It was because it was so scary, really. Like I couldn't go to sleep because it was so damn scary. Okay, so we talked about, that was my next question, how were your experiences and all of that. So my next question will be, okay, so right, we both are 18, right? And are you in college right now? Are you studying something? Oh,
Yes, I'm
what?
studying education.
Right now I gave half of my A levels, like the half of it, but I haven't finished my A levels yet, because I have been, like, I wasn't well, because the last exam that I gave, I didn't score that well, because I was having, like, during exams also there is so much distraction, and I think I get disassociated with what I'm writing, or my trail of thought, and I write something totally different, so that way my exams were like, like, when did you start like seeing that your marks going low, your grades going lower, or when did that start happen?
That started within the past 2 years. Um, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so with me also, like, it started around when I was in grade 8 or 9. Like I was like pretty good at, like, I don't think people believe me when I say that I used to score the highest in math or any other subject like science and all, because like I changed my school. I changed my board completely after the foundation level. So here it is grade 8. So I changed my board completely. I went to a international board. I went to IGCSE. So I think that was a good decision for me to change to IGCSE, because it's so much more flexible. So I did that. And from there also, my were okay. Like I used to get like B's. Like normally I used to be in the B's or in the A's category. But then it started moving to C and D's and E's also even. So that happened. But that's why my doctor said that you should like take some break. So now I am not, I am in a break, like a medical break from school and education and all. But I am studying on my own. I do this online courses and all of that. So that is me right now. So do you have any problem when you're studying or going to give exams or anything?
Yeah, I was talking about that a little bit in my ADD video. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have racing thoughts too, but like I have like these really bad racing thoughts sometimes,
Yeah,
and it's like I can't focus, and I try to focus, and I try to give my all to the exam, but then like I'll start thinking about something completely different, and I won't even notice that I lost track.
exactly. I am experiencing it like right now. Like last night, it was like my mind was like in a marathon, you can say. It was just racing, and I kind of, like it, like when your mind is racing, your body gets so tired. Like I don't think people understand that when we are experiencing that, it also shows in the physical health. Like your body completely gets tired. And last night I just collapsed. Like I literally just fell on the ground, and I was like out of my body. Then after some time, then I completely, like, I think I was a little in my consciousness, but I was like totally unconscious. But then I just completely went back to sleep. So I think people don't understand that when you're dealing with mental health problems, it also shows in the physical health. Because when my like first when the symptoms started, it's starting with me having like really bad pain in my chest, and my I have like stomach ache, very bad stomach ache, and like very bad pain in my chest. And everyone thought, because in my family we have a history of heart attacks and heart problems, so the doctor thought that it may be something to do with the heart. But then later we discovered it was this depression and anxiety, and then I got diagnosed with schizophrenia. Okay,
Mhm.
so uh, do you have any like friends, like not with the diagnosis, like just normal friends?
No.
No. Oh, I so with that, even for a while when I was first diagnosed, and I had a bad, like before that I had a very bad phase, very bad phase. I actually, my friends were friends. I didn't have that many friends then. I had like no friends, nobody used to talk to me or anything. But I think somewhere down the line I understood that even they are my age, like they are also 17-year-old bunch. Because I completely, like sometimes when this is happening I don't understand what is happening to me. So
Mhm.
I thought that like if I can't understand what is happening to me, it is very hard for them to understand while not actually going through it. So at
Yeah.
that time I didn't have that many friends. But then like later on they understood. I think they saw my YouTube videos and all of that, and they understood. And then they came, and then we had a conversation, and they understood. Now I have like, there is a bunch of people, like very few people, but they try to, like at least they make an effort to understand that. And
Yeah.
they make an effort to hear me out, or just let me be. Like, do you feel you have to behave in a certain way when you're around people, like you can't be really free? Do you feel that?
Yeah, I do. And I mean, I shouldn't say I have no friends. I mean, I have this one guy. I don't really think of him as a friend though, because we kind of like each other and we're kind of dating.
Oh, that's
But
great.
I mean, he's the closest thing I've got to a friend because he's not like part of my family, of course. Um,
Right.
but the thing is with him, like I'm gonna be honest, I met him on a dating site. And I
Okay.
was like completely upfront with him. I'm just like, look, if you're gonna try to get to know me, you got to know this thing first. And so I told him about
Mm-hmm.
my mental illness because I feel like it's better if I'm
Say it
upfront with
out.
people than
Yeah.
if I actually let myself get attached to them and then I'm rejected
Exact.
later.
Right.
But it's like he was really understanding, and so we've been talking for like maybe 4 months, and we've
Okay.
gone out, and so I mean he's probably the closest thing I got to a friend.
Okay, so with the dating stuff I can totally relate with you. Because like when I was diagnosed first, I was in a relationship, but that ended. And I started like feeling guilty, and I started blaming because myself, that okay, because of my diagnosis that person left me, or I don't know his side of the story, so I can't make a comment on that. But then I realized that it is not because of me, because I don't control my diagnosis. I didn't want to, like I didn't make myself have this disorder. And even I am like very, like after talking to a person for like at least few days, I go like straight, see, I have this, I have this. So, and then like at least till now I have been ghosted every time I have said that, like to any guy. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's the thing is like people always tell me like, oh, you should try to find someone
Mm,
you know from like they say you know from Adam, which means basically I knew them from someone else, my parents knew them or something like that. And I'm just like, it's really hard to limit myself to only those people because it's
right.
like I get rejected a lot and it's like, I gotta widen my my selection, you know. That's why I
Yeah,
picked the online dating, because it's like then you can see pretty much everyone in the area who's looking for someone too, you know.
right. Yeah, like
And it's like
I
people don't just use the online dating apps for dating and sex like
right,
people typically think. It's not some kind of one night stand thing. And
right.
I mean, you'll see many other girls there saying like, "Oh, look, I would just want to have a friend right now, you know.
Yeah,
I'm just looking for
exactly.
someone to talk to." And it's like I kind of came into there with that reasoning too, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like with me, I think I like to be committed to a person, but it's really hard to find that. And like previously also, I had hard time finding a person who is not feared with commitment, and now it is even more harder after they hear my diagnosis. But I have learned that it's not because of me, it is their problem. Like I
Yeah.
used to blame myself a lot, but then I thought that I didn't want to have this disorder and it is not in my control, so it shouldn't be my problem if they get. And I feel it is like better, like after I tell them and they just ghost me and stop talking to me, I'm like, okay, so I don't need you in my life right now. Like it's easier to say than to be done, because I have faced so much rejection, and now I am actually, I have this little fear of like I myself have a little fear that I'm going to end up alone or something. But I
Yeah. But I mean, I get that too. Like I kind of feel like I'm gonna end up some crazy bird lady because I got six birds right now.
I like all the
I'm just
stray
gonna end up
dogs.
alone somewhere with my birds.
I know, I feel good when I'm with around animal, or I'm around nature. Like
Mhm.
in front of my house, we have this big tree, and I just like stare at the tree, and I just feel so calm and relaxed. Or I did have a dog, but he passed away, and he was my best friend. Like he was my best friend. But now, right now, I feed the stray dogs or go and pet them, and just that. And near my father's office, there is a person who is a trainer of dogs. So he has like lot of dogs, and people who live alone, they go to work, so they leave their dogs with them, so I go and pet them and play with them. So it's like my father's like, you're going to come to the office and help me work, and I'm like, okay, I'll come, but I actually just go for the dogs, and it's like so much fun to play with them. And they understand, I don't know how, but they do some way like understand you. And they just like, what I experienced was when I start, like when see, if I know a person and that person knows me before I tell them about my diagnosis, and after I tell them about my diagnosis, uh, they kind of change their behavior, and I hate that. I completely hate that. And I have found like very rare people who have not done that, like like our bond didn't change like because of my diagnosis. Like that, you do you face that people completely behave different with you after you tell them about your diagnosis?
Yes, definitely. I remember I went to this church meeting with my folks because my folks are
Mm-hmm.
Christian, and I was talking to them. I was kind of opening up in like, I have this diagnosis, and I remember afterward I was trying to make friends because it's like, I mean, I kind of thought that I'd be able to make friends,
Right.
but
Yeah.
there was this guy, and he came on a bike, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna offer to give him a ride home because I mean, he's there, he's on a bike, and it's like if he only lives 5 minutes away from where we were, it's not
Mm-hmm.
a big deal. So I asked him, I'm like, so how far away do you live? Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes? And he just got all like weird, like I don't want to tell you that. I'm just like, I'm not asking for your exact address, dude.
Exactly.
But it's
Like.
like this seemed like just a normal question, but he got so like weird when I
Mm-hmm.
asked it.
Exactly. Like they just completely, that the behavior just completely changes. And after that, like that is like a very big turn off for me. Like I don't feel like talking to that person afterwards. and even they don't try to. So yeah, okay. uh, so so that actually, that was another question: how is this illness have like affected you in your life and all of that, and we talked about it like in many ways. Like,
Mm,
I do you have this like, you don't people to define you based on your diagnosis, but
mm-hmm.
then it but the diagnosis, the disorder, it actually plays a very vital role. Like, sometimes when I do a lot of research about schizophrenia and schizoaffective, because I feel that gives me a control. Like, if I
Yeah,
know what is happening to me and what I am going
exactly.
through and what the recent studies are, I feel like I am in control of a little bit of my emotions and little bit of what I am going through. But people tend to think that I'm very obsessive about it, or that that's the only thing I talk about. But it's not that, because like, I have gotten comments on my YouTube videos, people saying that, why don't you make travel vlogs or food vlogs? I'm stereotypical, like they have made everything stereotypical. Like, for things that will be for me, it may be like totally different for you, or someone who has schizophrenia, it may be totally different from for them. Like, the psychotic episodes or whatever they feel, that it may be like completely different for them as well. So I think
Mm.
it's not best to like stereotype what is going to happen to a person like that. And
Because like everything's different, you know.
I don't hear you. Sorry, what?
So yeah, because it's like everything's different,
Yeah,
like everyone's
everybody is
experience.
different. Like, and one more thing that people, I think, misunderstand is that uh, they think schizophrenia, they actually mix up schizophrenia and personality disorders.
Yes.
Yeah, and they think that we have a different personality, but that's not it. That we It's like split reality, not split personality. I think they actually miss that a lot. So yeah, so because I know that before I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, a doctor thought that I had BPD, but then I changed my doctor, and then I was diagnosed, like proper diagnosed with schizophrenia. So yeah,
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
I
no,
it
I agree with that because it's like, I remember when I was 15 years old and I first started researching about schizophrenia because I had had a boyfriend at the time who was schizophrenic and I could relate to him on a lot of things, so I got kind of worried, and that was kind of like what opened my eyes to like, okay, I might have schizophrenia. But I remember I was talking with my parents about it, and they're like, "You don't have schizophrenia because you don't have multiple personalities." It's like,
right.
what?
Yeah, we don't have actually. I have this one. I have a very. I know that when I'm comfortable with people, like right now, I can talk freely. I am an introvert. I am a total introvert. But if
Mhm.
it's in a big group or something, then I kind of like, crawl inside me myself. Like, I
Yeah,
can't. I am a complete introvert. But people, like, when I'm comfortable with someone, then I am like this basically, because I feel comfortable with you, so like that. uh
yeah.
so yeah. And okay, one more question. Like, do you think that you are always bringing up schizophrenia or your illness in conversations? And like, I think that people don't like that, or people are like, why are you always talking about this? Do you feel bad when you do that?
I mean, it really depends on who I'm talking to. Like with that guy I was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
I think I talk about it a lot more than I probably should, just because
Yeah.
I feel like comfortable around him. So if I'm having a
Yeah.
bad day and I'm seeing a lot of extra hallucinations, I'll tell him. Um, but I mean, it's not something I typically just bring up
Yeah.
in conversation with
Y-
with people who I don't know or who I rarely know or who I don't who I don't see a future with, if that makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
Most of the time
Exact.
when I'm talking to people outside and we're like, I'll be friendly, but I'm not wanting to be friends, you know,
Yeah.
typically. And then if I do want to be friends, then I'll still typically hold off a little bit kind of try to get a feel for the person.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll probably tell them within a week or two if I actually want to be friends with them.
Right, because even for me, like I think that's I don't know really, but I get the feeling that when I am around that friend circle that I have, I tend to be comfortable talking about it. But then sometimes I feel, am I talking too much about it? Because we all are here to just chill and have a good time. But it's
Yeah,
just that
like
because I don't have a lot of people to talk about it and I feel comfortable with them. So I talk about it a
mhm,
lot, like every a bit of it. So I feel
mhm,
that is something I need to like not always like talking about it or making a conversation about schizophrenia, but I am not saying that you should not talk about it. It is very important to be acknowledged and
yeah.
talk
But I
about
mean,
it and
I
destigmatize.
understand those feelings because like sometimes I feel like I'm just too self-absorbed, and like when I talk to my boyfriend, I'm just like always talking about myself and how my day went, but I'm not
Yeah,
talking about him. And it's like, cause I'll ask him like how are you, and then he'll say how he's doing, and then he'll ask how am I, and I'll do this whole long paragraph about how I'm doing.
yeah, I do
And
that
it's like
with
I
my
feel like
best friend. I do
yeah, like
that with my
I feel like I'm just like self-absorbed though, because it's like I
yeah.
barely acknowledged how he was doing.
Yeah, but it's not actually that. I feel that uh, the thing that they make us feel so comfortable talking about it, that's why we are like so open, because I feel it's like, pressed inside us because we can't talk about it to a lot of other people. So that's why we really like talk about it to that one person who makes us feel so comfortable with it. And have people, like, after some people who have heard about your experiences, do do you have ever heard that, oh, that is so fascinating? Have you ever got that, like, after people hear about your
Yeah, I
experiences?
get that a lot too, honestly. My boyfriend, he says that he finds me interesting, which I mean, I'm not offended by that. I mean, I guess you're
Okay.
supposed to find your partner interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I get that too. Like I'm fascinating and I'm interesting and I'm different. I had this one guy who told me that I wasn't a basic B.
Oh
I'm
god.
just like, oh, thank you for putting everyone else that isn't like me down.
Yeah, and actually, like, I see that it is a little fascinating because I get a lot of my ideas, like, while I write and everything. When I am in my psychotic episode, I write a lot, and the things I write are actually, I'm gonna say, they're good, but uh, they don't understand that it's not actually that. Like, it's very tiring, it's very weighing, and it's not a good experience that people make of it. Like, and like, some people, they think that I romanticize my illness, if that makes sense. But that is not actually, I acknowledge it so that I can work on it, rather than romanticizing it and saying that, oh, it's the best thing that I could have gotten, it's a gift that I have. Like, for a period, I had this delusion that, oh, I have a gift, I can hear, I have so many things, like someone is speaking to me, like from the
Mm,
beyond, someone is speaking to me. But then I talked to my doctors, everyone, and we understood that it's a delusion that I have. So I am working on it right now also. But the fact is, it's not really that. Like, it is interesting to talk about it, but when a person who is actually going through it, it is really weighing and it's not a good experience. Like, I will
mm.
not say that, like, if someone tells me, okay, what is your one wish, I'll say that, please, like, take this away from me. I will not say that, Acha, like, let me have this,
Yeah,
but give me something else. I'll say that, yeah, please take this away from me. So yeah.
definitely. And it's like I get the same sort of stuff told to me too. Like I got my parents telling me that I kind of like wanted to have schizophrenia and that's why I accepted it. But it's like no, I mean I had before I was diagnosed, I had actually done a lot of research on it due
Yeah.
to my ex-boyfriend who was schizophrenic. Um,
Okay.
and so I had kind of known the symptoms, and I kind of felt like, this kind of describes me. And so I was kind of leaning toward, I probably have this. Um, but I wasn't like labeling myself or like diagnosing myself before I got the actual diagnosis. But like when I got it, I was fine with it. I mean, it was scary to kind
Mm-hmm.
of see the words and to kind of know, but at the same time, like it was kind of refreshing because it's like I didn't have to keep searching for like what if it's PTSD, what if it's this, what if it's that. It's like
Right.
I kind of felt like, you know what, I can understand myself a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even I get that I wanted to have, like, I just do this. I have got a lot of that. I do this for attention, but it's actually not,
Yes,
like,
me
it's
too.
not. Yeah, like, I'm like, please, no, I don't do it. Like, I don't want that. I am a person who doesn't like attention. I don't like attention, and I will never do it for attention. It just happened. Like, oh,
Hmm.
actually, in my family, we have a history of schizophrenia. So I think that's a little bit. I have like a genetic also, like one from my mother's side, and from my father's side also, from both sides there's a history of schizophrenia. So that way I'm like, it is for me, it's a little bit genetic also, and the environmental accepts are there as well, because I think, as a girl child, because in the whole generation, like my generation, or my previous generation, in my family, I am the only girl child that was born. And I don't know why, but I always felt a little outsider, because my brothers were different. And like, I got like very, even when I was in school, I used to like hang out with the guys, because I was so comfortable with the guys, because I have grown up with so many brothers. So I used to like hang out with the guys, play football, be very, like, a tomboy. And that way I was
Exactly,
like
me
very
too.
stereotyped with, from the girls also, that, oh, like, why don't you just want to sit and talk? But I'm like, no, I want to go and play football, or I want to go and play cricket. So I got that a lot. So I think, like, my childhood was, I won't say it was good. It had the good moments, but there was a little bit of bad moments also from my childhood. So yeah. So I think that environmental aspect came into with the genetic and the environment. All of it came together. So okay. So do you have to be assisted when you go out, like, with your parents or anyone? When you go out, do you have to be assisted by your parents?
Uh, well, personally, I don't think I do. I tend to be a very independent person, and I don't really want to be controlled by anyone or like
Mm-hmm.
treated like a child,
Mm-hmm.
especially
Exactly.
since I'm such a young adult. It's like I kind of just want to get my freedom and stop with this whole child stuff already. But
Exactly.
I mean, if you ask my parents, they'll say like, "Oh, I'm not stable enough to be in the house by myself. I'm not stable enough to go out on my own and whatnot." And it's like I don't really care too much what they think because it's like, I'm an adult and legally they can't stop me from doing what I'm going to do. But
Yeah.
it's kind of a confusing question for me because it really depends on who you ask. If you ask me, I'd say, yeah, I'm completely fine going wherever I want by myself.
Right. And but yeah, that's the same with me. But like in America or in abroad, it is very like, when you're 18, they say that, okay, you are an adult, you can do whatever you want to right now, it's your decision. But in India, we don't have that culture. Like, even if you're an adult, you, like, parents are like, no, I'm going to be there, because I have to, like, I haven't slept alone for 3 years now. Like, I used to, this room used to be mine. Right now my brother stays here because he's back from hostel and college. So like, I don't get that freedom that I used to have. like even my doctor actually says that don't leave her alone. Or when I go out with my friends, it's like a group of friends, they know about me, and like when I am going out with my friends are my caretakers. When I'm at home, my parents are my caretakers. But here we don't have, like how you said that it is now your decision. In India we don't have that, like we can make a decision like it, like with the doctor and the counselors and the therapist. Yeah, we can, like I am the main focus, but still then also it's a little bit, I have to, like I get assisted everywhere. Like if I want to go out in a walk or somewhere, I my parents are like, but don't go too far, let me come with you. It's like that, like I don't totally
Yeah, no,
get.
mine are like the same way. It's just like in America there are laws. So I mean, like there are laws
Yeah,
saying that, if I'm 18 then I can do what I want, and if they try to stop me or if they try to call the police on me, the police are going to be like, "Why the hell did you call us? There's no real there's no real crime here."
exact. And here in India we don't have such laws. Like it's always I kind of, I don't like that. Like I feel that that's why the kids don't have a lot of freedom. But I know after people see this video they are going to be convinced that, oh, if the parents don't watch you, then you can do a lot of things, and it may not be right. So it's a
Mm,
very controversial topic. I think there is a lot of
yeah.
controversy with this topic in India at least. uh okay, yeah, so that's the thing. Like I don't like I have not slept alone in 3 years, and like I sleep with my parents, and that's, I hate that. I can say I
See,
hate
with
that.
me, I'm like the exact opposite. Like I need to sleep alone or else I
Exactly.
won't get to sleep, because it's like I literally feel like people will watch me in my sleep and they'll try to strangle me or whatever,
Oh
and it's like
yeah.
I sleep alone with the doors and the windows locked.
Yeah, same. Like even I need to have a pitch black room to sleep. But the room I sleep in, it's not pitch black, there's a little bit light, and I want like a dark room to sleep in, because I feel if it's dark, then I don't see the shadows that much, because when it's dark. So yeah, so that I don't have that. It has been 3 years and I haven't slept alone, and it is very bad. I can just say it's like bad, and I want to. Like people, when I say that I want to be alone, people think that I'm sad or I'm depressed, but it's not that. I like my company. I don't have a problem. Like I there are many cafes around my place, so I go to a cafe, I sit there, I get a iced tea or something, and I write or do my work. And my friends are like, my family's like, how can you go to a cafe alone? I'm like, I can just do that. I don't mind it actually. I like that. I feel like in the morning there is a period when I don't have that voices, like it's really low, the voices that I hear. But after some time it gets louder. So in the morning I don't like to talk to many people. Like I want like silence, and I don't like to talk to many people. And that's why I try to wake up early to get that silent period at time, because that time is my relaxation period. I work out that time. I rarely work out. I have to start working out, but I meditate. So that is my time. So uh okay, let's talk about side effects. Like what side effects did you experience from the medication? Are you on medication right now?
Not currently. I haven't been for the past 3 months.
Okay, okay. How has that been, like without being in medication?
It's been harder. I mean, I definitely see an increase in the hallucinations and they're being more violent, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, I haven't been hospitalized, so
Yeah, but I have been, like it has been 3 years. I have been in medication, and for me I have seen a lot of progress, because I rarely have visual hallucinations now. It's mostly auditory and tactile sometimes. olfactory, like I never had that olfactory reaction. It's very rare. But tactile and auditory are the only hallucinations that I have right now, which I don't have that many visual hallucinations. I think I have delusions that someone is continuously watching me, and if I'm in the road, that someone is following me, and if I'm in a car, someone is going to, make an accident or something. So I
Yeah,
have
same.
that. I have delusions and a little bit of hallucinations, but I have seen a lot of progress. But we have a plan, like we have for the medication. Actually, like in the between, for I think 1 or 1.5 month, my medication dosage was lowered because I was doing so good. But then again, I had like bad psychotic episodes and everything, so he had to, like my doctor had to increase the dosage again. But we have a plan that after sometimes, like after I progress, I lower my dosage, and at the end I will be off medication. So we have a plan. He doesn't plan to keep me on medication for my whole life. Like he wants me to be without medication. So that's the plan for me. So for how many years were you in medication, like when you were in medication?
I was on and off medication for about a year.
Okay, so did you see any side effects for the medication? Like what side
Yes,
effects you
I'd say
experienced?
the most severe side effect was the suicidal thoughts. I had an
Mm-hmm.
increase in those with some of the medications. But the ones I didn't like the most were the sedatedness. Like I was super tired and super
Yeah,
drowsy, and it's like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Totally. Like even me, like I was super drowsy. I couldn't like work properly. My mind felt really heavy and I couldn't like work. I think like when I started with my medication, I felt very, very heavy and I couldn't work. But right now I think my body has adjusted to the medication, so I don't feel that much. Like I can work now. It feel like when people ask me, like there is a lot of controversy with medication. They say like medication can do a lot of harm in other aspects, but I agree with that. Like I don't want to be in like on medication for the rest of my life. I don't want that feeling.
yeah. But
But
I mean, in some cases, I think is like I'm not saying you're gonna be medicated for the rest of your life, but like I can see why like right now at least you need medication because it's like if if you have more hallucinations and more psychotic episodes without the medications, it's like you might need it. But with me, it's like I don't know. I mean, I never really had like dangerous psychotic episodes. I was more just depressed.
okay,
And so it wasn't like the hallucinations were bugging me or the delusions were bugging me. It was that I was just really depressed and that was what sent me to the hospital.
yeah, so with me it's the opposite. Like I have this periods of depressed state, and then I have this periods of complete manic states. Like I am like extremely happy and I feel that I can do everything. Like
Are you
i
sure you're not bipolar, like schizoaffective bipolar
I
type?
I know, like this happens. This started happening like this bipolar state thing have started happening like at least like 1.5 months ago. So my doctor, we are still like talking about it. We don't have like he has not like yet. He hasn't diagnosed with me with the bipolar state schizoaffective right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
What
but
what I realized because I was on sorry if you can't hear me. I know you're like trying to
yeah,
go really close.
yeah. Now I can
But
hear you.
I was on what was it? Zoloft, which was an
Mm,
antidepressant,
yeah, yeah.
and it was actually like making me more manic and I felt like I had to spend my money and spend spend
Oh
spend
yeah,
and it's like I could not keep any money down, but then when I got off the medication, the Zoloft, I just
yeah.
completely changed and it's like I can actually save money now, so it's like
Yeah,
it
like
might actually be a problem with the meds you're taking too, like maybe that's causing it because like it seemed to be the case with me.
yeah, like with me, I for that month, even right now, I actually colored my hair like temporary blue color because I just wanted to, a
Look
change.
at
Like,
this. Look at this.
oh yeah, we both have blue hair. That's amazing. We both have blue hair. That's amazing. So I was like, I was to my parents, I'm like, I needed, like, I had like really long hair before all of this. And and that, like, when I had the long hair, my appearance is like it is coming back to the old Rupanata. Like, people were like, oh, you're looking again, like, you used to look before. But I'm like, I don't want to look the way I've looked before, because that was a very bad state for me, phase for me, and I don't want to go back there, and I want a little bit of change. So I was like, Mom, can I please color my hair blue or like any color? And my mom was like, okay, we'll talk about it. And here also, like you can just do independently, you can just go and color your hair, but I can't really do that. But
Not it's not even the hair because like look at this. Gotta show you my tattoos now. Look at that.
oh, damn.
Yeah, I got that in a manic state too, and I got this one as well.
Oh, um,
And
I
then the
know.
last one.
Oh my god! Like all of them in the manic states,
Pretty much. It was just
and
like I felt like I really needed to get a tattoo because I needed to do something different. I needed to do something fun, you know?
exactly, yeah, exactly. Like, I know, like, I fear that. Like, I make myself, like, I write it down, the Tripanata. Whenever you're feeling that, try to, don't do anything, like, I try to be as much as I can in control, but then I'm not. And that way I colored my hair blue, but it was temporary, but it was not
Mm.
permanent, because if I have to do it permanent, it's very costly, and I don't have the money to do it right now. So
Yeah, but the thing with the permanent hair color too is like it's not really permanent. Like that will fade too.
yeah, it will fade away.
Unless you get like a natural color like black or brown
Yeah, it will fade.
or blonde, it's like the unnatural colors will fade whether it's permanent or not. So
Yeah, like, and we have dark hair, so you need to bleach it and everything. And my hair is very precious to me. I really like my hair. Like, I think in school, I had really long hair, and everyone was obsessed with my hair. Like people knew me because of my hair. Like, people, okay, like, can you call the girl with the long hair? Like, people knew me because of my hair. So yeah, so I was like, I want to color my hair blue. And I was like, okay, I just did it. I colored my hair blue, but it was like completely temporary. Like, if I, like, I'll have two shampoo, like, I'll do two shampoos like twice a day, and it'll be gone. But even right now, I am like, okay, I feel like I can do everything, like, in this state. And I actually try to use that as a little bit of advantage. Like, because when I'm in my depressive state, I really can't work. I don't feel like getting up. I don't have any motivation, like, no motivation at all. So when I am in this state, I try to do as much, like, record the videos, edit the videos,
Mhm.
write something new, edit
I
something,
mean
all of that.
the
Huh?
thing with my so-called like mania, my grandma has bipolar, so I mean it could be that I have bipolar too. But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, I only really get impulsive when I get depressed, because it's like when I get depressed, everything just seems so normal, and like I need to do something more fun. I need to get out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's like
I
when I get
totally.
depressed, I feel like everything's the same and everything's just boring, and I just, So
Yeah.
typically, I'll do these impulsive things that I call
Mm-hmm.
manic when I'm depressed. So it's not really kind of like, sorry, it's not
No, that's
really
fine.
um quite the same as bipolar, I think, at least in my case.
Okay, so I don't yet know. Like, I have not diagnosed with it, and we don't know. But I have let my doctor know that, I think I have let him know that it is like complete manic state and then complete depressive. Like, before this, I
Mhm.
had like the month of May, I was completely like, I didn't feel like doing too much, and I didn't have that motivation. But again, this month, I am like, okay, I can do everything. Like, I am taking up so many projects. I'm writing, like, continuously writing and writing, and shooting videos, and like editing them. Like, I'm continuously doing that. And I think last night what happened was, and I feel that sleeping is a waste of time right now. So the
Hmm.
sleep that I get is due to my medication. Like, due to the medication, I get my sleeps. But then, like, if I have to sleep on my own, I can't do that. I literally can't like make myself go to sleep. So that's the thing. But yeah, that's mostly, and the side effects I got mainly was weight gain. Like, I gained a lot of weight. I gained a lot of weight.
That's like why that's one of the reasons I don't want to be on antipsychotics right now, because
Mhm.
like um I don't know if you heard about this from my Instagram, but like I'm really trying to be like crazy healthy right now. Like I'm
Okay.
eating, I have a like a keto diet. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Um, and then I'm exercising as much as I can. I mean, it's been hard with the motivation to find the
Mm-hmm.
motivation to exercise some days, but I mean, I'm really trying, you know.
Yeah, with me, I I tend to try. I tend to try eat. I don't have too much of junk food because I have seen, like, when I used to have a lot of junk food, it affected my mental health as well. But I'm,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. So I try to like, if even if it's like, making a pizza or making a burger, I try to make it at home and make it like
Hmm.
homemade. If I want to have like, say, a burger or something, I make it at home, or a pasta or something, I make it at home. So I don't
Yeah.
eat from outside that much, and I'm trying, like, the fact I have a very much problem with getting up and finding that motivation to work out every single day. Like, so that's why I have gained like a lot of weight. But like, slowly right now, I'm like, having a calorie deficit diet. So according to like calories, so that, like, I have seen that that has changed a lot. Like, I feel a little light in my body, and I have actually at least lost 2 kgs right now. I've lost 2 kgs, so that's a good thing.
Hmm.
You okay? You're feeling something, like, it's
Oh,
something what?
no, I was just wondering what the noise I was hearing was. It sounded like it was coming from my closet, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't like, even when when we are having a conversation with the person, and we kind of get distracted because you can hear a voice or you probably can see something, and the
But
person
like
thinks,
I don't know if it was a hallucination or if it was just my bird. Like it didn't sound like my bird, but my bird is over there, so it could have been my bird.
yeah, I know. Like, I remember when I was in school, and during the lectures and the classes, I used to be like very distracted because I used to hear voices, and my teacher was like, "Rapanta, are you here in class?" And I was like, "Yeah, what? I didn't hear what you say." Like, I think like that's why I'll say my teachers helped me. Like, my school did help me, they understood, and that's how they used to take one-to-one classes and give me a more time, because I have a very short attention span. I'm trying to make it longer. I'm working
Me
on it.
too.
Like, drawing or coloring actually makes me feel a little, like, helps me with concentration. So I try to do that. But like previously, like, even when I'm like, if I'm talking to you for a minute or two, I'm going to be distracted because I'm hearing some voices. But for you, you will understand that. But when it's a person who doesn't know about it, they will feel that, oh, she's just distracted, she doesn't want to hear me out. But it's not really that. Yeah.
I have a lot of hair that's falling on my arm. That's why I'm looking at my arm.
Okay. No, no, that's fine. That's fine. And I feel like, I am Indian, you're American. Where do you live, by the way, in America?
In Florida.
Okay. So I am from Calcutta. So I feel this also shows, like, there are many people say that, okay, if you were religious, or if you were in a certain religion, then you wouldn't have this disorder. Have you ever gotten that?
So many times.
I know.
From my parents' church, from everyone that I know.
I'm like, it has nothing to do with religion. It's nothing to do with the culture. It's nothing to do with the race. Cause look at us. I'm Indian, you're American, and I feel we come from a totally different background, and we have the
Yeah.
same disorder. This shows that,
Yeah, that's
huh?
like what I've been trying to like say to people, but it's like they think that it's like it can be caused by any sin, and that if like at least in like the Christian community that I've grown up in, they think it can be caused by like any sin, and like if you just if you didn't pray right, or if you didn't you know
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I
so it's
know.
like you might tell them like, oh yeah, well, Christians struggle with this too, but they'll just find some excuse for like why that person isn't the proper Christian. Was that on your end? Typically tell between the differences, and it's like,
Yeah, right. Like actually, like previously, I didn't make a difference between the hallucination and what was reality. But right now, I can make a difference. Like, okay, this is I'm hallucinating. This is not real life.
well, like I've kind of like learned my voices a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like typically they won't talk for more than like a sentence or two, and then they'll leave.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know that I have like three voices, three different voices that I hear. One is a woman who just says a lot of negative stuff, and then there is a guy, and then there is Voldemort. I know people get so weirded out when I talk about this. I hear Voldemort's voice, and that Voldemort's voice for me is a happy voice. Like it says like good things, that okay, you can do this, you are able to do this, and it's like I hear that voice rarely. Mostly, it's the two voices, the man and the woman. But
Hmm.
yeah, Voldemort's voice for me is a happy voice, and people get very weirded out when tell them this, that oh yeah, Voldemort is a happy voice for me, and people are like, what? So yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know, like my voices aren't really that common. It's more of the visual hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
So like I haven't known them so much that like I can tell who's who.
Okay.
I just know like that when they come, they typically don't stay that long. So like previously when I was hearing that whistling, I
Mm-hmm.
kind of knew it wasn't a hallucination because I was hearing it for like 20 seconds on and
Right.
off.
Yeah,
And
I
like
get that.
typically the hallucinations are just in and out.
Yeah,
At least
exactly.
with the voices. The shadows they'll stay longer, but the voices don't typically stay that long.
Yeah. For me, I have my voices stay a little longer. Like it's like there are small gap periods, and then there are like voices. Like if say that I'm trying to work on something, it's going to start commenting on that, like why don't you do like that, or you're like, it's like a commentary voice. And then there are command voices, like do this, do this, do this. And that is mainly when I am experiencing like a bad psychotic episode. That is when I get like the commands. Like it mainly tells that why don't you just jump out or cut yourself, like
Mm,
humming voices. So I try to not do that. For me, I don't know, like it may be helpful for you too. I make myself record videos, and I tell myself that when this happens, don't do it, like try not to give in to the command. So that helps
mhm.
me a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what helps me is like, well, I mean, I only got like really two command voices that I can like really be distinct on. Typically, when they tell me stuff, they'll tell me it in the form of like seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll point to something or to someone, and then they'll do some kind of action or something.
Right.
Um, but I get command voices too, but I've only gotten two of them, and that was one of them was saying to follow it somewhere. I don't know where. um,
Okay.
and then another one was saying to help them. And
Help
I
them.
didn't really listen to either one of these, first of all, because I mean, where am I supposed to follow it? It didn't freaking tell me where to follow it. It just said to follow it.
Yeah,
So like how
yeah, with
it
that,
was like
like,
how am I supposed to listen to that? And it's like the other one that said help me. It's like I was out with my family and we were in a parking lot.
mm-hmm.
Uh, so I mean, no one else seemed to hear it, but at the same time, like I wasn't sure if it was real or not. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just ignored it, thinking it probably wasn't real since no
Real,
one
yeah.
else seemed to hear it.
Yeah,
So I
I
mean,
get
that's
the
another thing that helps me.
yeah.
Hmm?
I get the helping thing. I get that helping, like, help someone. Or I have this thing that, okay, you have to help this person. This person, like, needs you. You are the only one who can help them. Okay.
Hmm.
And it has happened to me in many cases that there is a person who I have heard voices that you have to help them, but then they have passed away, and then the voices say that they passed away because of you. So
Hmm.
that's a very bad feeling, but I'm trying to make myself understand, like, whenever I get this command voices, my therapist has said that, ask the question why. Like, why do I have to do this? And ask the question, like, if I don't do this, what will happen? So, like, I have tried, like, asking the why question, and after that, I didn't get an answer. Like, okay, this is why you have to do it. So then I could
Thing,
understand
like
that.
they don't answer you. Like they'll like when they told me to go follow them, I'm like, where? And then they just kind of shut up. They're
Shut
just
up,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, you figure it out. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's a, like, they just like trigger something and then veto it. It's
hmm.
like that. So yeah, and the basically coming back to the point, like, mental illness doesn't discriminate with anything. Like, it can happen to anyone, to of any age. Like, I have gotten a lot, like, when I was like, I have depression and anxiety, I've gotten a lot from people and elders, like, you haven't seen half of your life, so what are you depressed about, or what are you stressed about? Like, basically invalidating my experiences. So I have got that a lot, but it's like mental illness doesn't discriminate any age, size, culture, race, nothing actually. It can happen
Hmm.
to anybody, really. And we need to, like, raise awareness around it, and not, like, even it's a very difficult topic to not, like, talk about, but it is like we have to take the difficult road and talk about it as much as we possibly can, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that was good. Hello, so this is editing Rupanata. So after that clip, we did talk a little bit for a while, and I didn't. We just talked about some movies and some other YouTube channels that talk about schizophrenia and mental health. I'll try to link all the other channels in description also, because they give proper information as well, and we want to raise awareness. So I will do that. But we did talk for a while. We talked about movies and school and Instagram and all of that, basically teen-year-old stuff. So we did that, and we talked about how music also helps us. So we talked about all of that, and that was it. And we still talk together, like talk sometimes, like chat and all. So that's good. So I hope that you like the video, and do comment, subscribe, and share the video and like it, because that helps me grow, and if it helps me grow, I'll be able to raise more awareness with mental health. So please do that. It will really mean a lot to me. So yeah, thank you. Bye.